Judapadagam, Shri Guru Vaishnava, Shri Rupam Sarvajatam, Sabhanatam Vitam Tam Sajivam, Sakvaitam Satam Parivana Sahitam, Krishna Chaitanya Shri Radha Krishna Paradavan, Sanganavalita, Shri Vishakha Shri He Krishna Karna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Govinda Gopika Kantu Kantu Namaste Tapta Kamachi Jaya Bhavani Rakhi Pureshwari Krishna Shri Panch Adinana Devyo Vaishnavi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Prabhu Shri Vasati Gauratananda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Yadvivada Vande Shri I guess some devotees are not aware that it's a class. I see some of them are missing and gone for a walk. It's important to never miss a class. So hopefully tomorrow everybody will be here. It reminds me of one story of in Radhakund. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj was speaking and some devotees went around Vrindavan and Maharaj was asking, where did you go? He said, Maharaj, we went to take darshan. And Maharaj was not happy about that. He said, when you're in Dham, you should listen to the pastimes of the Lord. And that is as good as being taking darshan. So please make sure that we don't miss the program. We have time to go for a walk as well separately. So today's verse, Srimad Bhagavatam, is Canto 6, Chapter 3, text number 23. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So if you can pull up the verse on your phone, it'll be easier for you to chant. So again, you can go to vedabase.io and it's 6:3:23. 6:3:23. नामोच्चारणमाहात्म्यं हरे पश्यत पुत्रका अजामिलोऽपि येनैव मृत्युपाशादमुच्यत नामोच्चारणमाहात्म्यं repeat after me हरे पश्यत पुत्रकाः अजामिलोऽपि येनैव मृत्युपाशादमुच्यत नामोच्चारणमाहात्म्यं हरे पश्यत पुत्रकाः अजामिलोऽपि येनैव मृत्युपाशादमुच्यत नामोच्चारणमाहात्म्यं Hare Pashyata Putraka Ajamilo Piyenaiva Mrityu Pashadamuchyata. Namochamatmyam Hari Pashyata Putraka Ajamilopi Mrityu Pashadamuchyata.
Namocharamahmyam
Namochamatmyam
pashyata putrakaah
Hari Pashyata Putraka Ajamilopi Naiva
yupashadamuchyate
Mrityu Pashadamuchyata. Apologies. Namocharamahmyam Hare Pashyata Putraka Ajamilopi Naiva Mrityu Ashadamuchyata. Namocharanamahmyam Hare Pashyata Putraka Ajamilopi Naiva Mrityu Ashadamuchyata. Anyone else? Nama of the holy name, Ucharana of the pronouncing, Mahatmyam, the exalted position, Hare of the Supreme Lord, Pashyata, just see, Putraka, O my dear servants, who are like my sons, Ajamilah Api, even Ajamil who was considered greatly sinful, Yena, by the chanting of which, Eva, certainly, Mrityu Pashat, from the ropes of death, Amuchyata, was delivered. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. My dear servants, who are as good as my sons, just see how glorious is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. The greatly sinful Ajamil chanted only to call his son, not knowing that he was chanting the Lord's holy name. Nevertheless, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, he remembered Narayana, and thus he was immediately saved from the ropes of death. Purport. There is no need to conduct research into the significance of the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. The history of Ajamil is sufficient proof of the power of the Lord's holy name and the exalted position of a person who chants the holy name incessantly. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised, Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nam Eva Kevalam, Kalu Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyata. In this age of Kali, no one can perform all the ritualistic ceremonies for becoming liberated. That is extremely difficult. Therefore, all the Shastras and all the Acharyas have recommended that in this age one chant the holy name. Hare Krishna. This was the first book I read when I came to Krishna consciousness. When I was visiting the temple, there were so many books of Srila Prabhupada, and this book specially attracted my attention because of the picture on the front page. Very, very scary picture of these demons taking away the soul and Vishnu Dutas. And what attracted me was title under the title of the book, A Second Chance, but under that it said a true story. When there's a true story, just I love to. I don't like fictions and all that. I wanted something that was truly happened, and that caught my eyes. Also, being here is reminding me. It's very nostalgic because in 2002 I was here with my spiritual master and Loknath Swami Maharaj and also Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, and right here in this room we did 1 hour of Guru Puja. So it just brings those memories back. It was just so wonderful. And here in front of Sri Sri Radha Damodar and all the devotees, getting an opportunity to speak. So here, what is happening is in this canto, basically the Vishnu Dutas had come to save Jamil. Basically, the Yamadutas have gone back to Yamaraj. So what happened here? You sent us to get Jamil, but these vibrant-looking so-called Vishnu Dutas came and cut our ropes, and they have sent us back. How is it possible? How could you ever go wrong? Whenever you send us to get somebody, we've gotten them, no problem. This time it was different. And Yamraj is, yes, but you forgot, you did not read the manual in and out. Because in situations where at the time of death, if somebody calls my name, then they're excused from this punishment, bringing them to me. But this never happened before. Yes, but there's always a first time. So this is the time it happened. So when Ajamil, just to go back a little bit, Ajamil was born in a Brahmana family. He was raised with all the Brahmanical culture. He studied the Shastras. He would do his Gayatri 3 times a day. He would chant the holy names. He would do Arti, Puja, offerings, everything that we are generally trained to do. Once his father asked him to go get some flowers from the forest. He went into the forest. And while he was in the forest, he heard some noise of some giggling and laughing, and it brought his attention to that place. And he saw a woman, a Shudrani, and a Shudra embracing each other, smiling, laughing, hugging each other, cuddling. And when he saw that scene, it agitated his senses. When it agitated his senses, he hid behind a bush. And rather than focusing on why he came to the forest to get the flowers, he hid himself and started focusing on that scene of what was happening. And he could not get his eyes off that. He'd never seen something like this before. In the Vedic culture, this type of activity happens in closed doors, not in the open. And when he saw that, he was disturbed. This stayed in his mind. He left the forest, he went home, but he kept meditating on this. Long story short, he gave up all his spiritual activities. He sent his wife back to her parents' place. He brought the prostitute, that woman who he had seen, he brought her home, got married to her, had 10 children from this woman, and he started leading a very sinful life. He gave up his Brahmanical activities, his income stopped, he started doing gambling, he started cheating people, he started stealing, everything that you can think of. And one day, while he was with his wife and his children playing in the playground. There was a group of devotees who do kirtan, Nagar Sankirtan, and they were just passing by singing Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. So they stopped at his veranda outside his house, and when a Jamil saw them, his wife was, sadhus have come, give them something. And in return, a Jamil said, hey, my wife is pregnant. We need a name for our baby. And they say, you can name him Narayana. There was no scanning boy, girl, pink, blue, nothing like that. The sadhus knew, boy, hey, give the name Narayana. And this last child, the 10th child, became his pet. And all the time he would keep remembering, Narayana, come sit on my lap. Narayana, play with me. Narayana, let's go to the market. Narayana, this, Narayana, that. All day long he's chanting Narayana. And he's getting older and older and older. And at the time when he's laying on the bed, it's the final moment. He's about to give up his body. And at that time, the Yamadutas, who are the most horrific looking creatures, or the servants of Yamaraj, show up. Now, one may ask, Prabhu, have you seen Yamaraj? Have you seen Yamaduta? Are they really there? One time, one person asked a devotee in a class, are they really there? We've seen their descriptions. He says, you may not see them now, but you'll see them at the time of death. It'll be too late to at that time. So, what do we do if they are there? Like Srila Prabhupada was asked by a reporter, what if there is no Krishna? So Prabhupada gave a very smart, sharp answer, and he said, okay, if there is no Krishna, then at least we've had a wonderful, healthy, joyful, blissful life. Waking up early in the morning, chanting, eating nice, prasadam, sleeping early. But what if there is Krishna? And this made the reporter think that what if there is Krishna, you've not even chanted the Lord's name even once. So similarly, that what if there is Yamadutas? If they're not there, no big deal. Okay, we'll leave this body and go somewhere. But what if they are there? So we have to focus on what if. Bhagavatam is right or wrong. It comes back to the basis. Is Srimad Bhagavatam right or wrong? Do I believe in Srimad Bhagavatam? Do I believe in an Acharya like Srila Prabhupada's? Every word coming out of his mouth is Shastra. Prabhupada used to say, I read my own books. He said, Prabhupada, why do you read your own books? You wrote it. Why are you reading it again? Because Krishna is narrating to me and I'm just writing. So it is not my writing. I'm just like Ganesha was writing and Vedavyas was narrating. I'm just writing and Krishna is narrating. That's why I'm reading my own books that I've written. Huh? So similarly, we have to have faith that whatever is mentioned in here is true. Now, how to counteract that? One of our devotees from in Mumbai, he was the owner of Seema Bulbs. His name was Srinathji. Srinathji Prabhu was once in ICU, ICU, intensive care unit. It is said that one who goes into ICU, there's no guarantee that they're going to come back. He was in ICU and he was laying down, and he narrated the story later on that when I was there in the ICU, suddenly from nowhere, I saw these fearsome looking creatures entering And they didn't even enter from a door. They entered through the window. It was their subtle body coming through the window. They came and they stood right in between my bed and another bed next to me. And they're staring. And I'm thinking, my goodness, I've been a devotee all my life. I have chanted. I've done everything that was asked to by our Guru and in Prabhupada. Why are the Yamadutas here? And I'm thinking fast. Maybe it's my previous sinful activities. Maybe I've committed sins that I don't know of and they've come here to take me. And as an instant reaction, he didn't have time to think. He's saying all this happened in 10 seconds, 10 seconds only. And they came, he's thinking like this, and he picked up his bead bag, which was right next to his bed. And he started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. No time to think. Oh, a Jamil story, Canto 6, Chapter 3. Let me see what to do. No, it was in him. He did that. He realized that the Yamadutas had come to take the person who was next to him on another bed. And he said, I saw them throw a rope. Here it is said, the rope of death, Mrityu Pashan. They threw it on that person and they pulled that person, and the person was yelling and shouting, and they took him. I saw that happen in front of me. So when the Yamadutas come, they don't take our gross body, earth, water, fire, air, ether, all that remains here, that merges with the material nature. When they come to take us, it's important to understand what are they taking with them. They cannot hurt the soul. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kledayanti apo, na soshayati maruta. The soul cannot be killed by any weapon. So how are they going to hurt the soul? The soul is not hurt. They come and they take the subtle body. What is the subtle body? Anybody? Mind, intelligence, and false ego. And they take that. And as soon as they take that, the soul runs after the subtle body. As an example, you're watching TV, for example. You're sitting at home, you have this big screen TV. Somebody just barges into your house, takes the TV, and runs away. What do you do? You'll run after that person. Hey, no, 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 my TV. You're watching, you're watching. So the soul is also watching and enjoying things through their subtle body. It is almost like this is me. So the soul runs after. That's how it experiences that pain. That subtle body is taken. So Ajamil, the Yamadutas have come to take this person. And similarly, one story, one time, when Mataji came to a class, there was a wonderful class given, and at the end, she understood the importance of, and she came to this devotee and said, can I get a bead? I also want to chant daily. So she was given the bead bag and the beads and said, okay, chant. She says, I'm a nurse. I work in a hospital for, what do you call them? The last stages? Hospice. They are in that last stage of their. She says, just 2 days ago, one person left his body, and at the end, he was just shouting. He was just crying and shouting and yelling. And the nurses would go up to him and say, okay, just quiet down, just quiet down. Be quiet, be quiet. The doctors will give him something to calm him down. He would quiet down. He said, wish I had known, and I'd heard this class before. I would have sat next to him, or I would have asked him to chant Krishna, chant Rama, and he would have been delivered. So when Ajamil saw the Yamadutas, he was very afraid. Every day he was chanting Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Vishnu Dutas did not come. Vishnu did not come. Every day. Every one of us has some name in the family we are calling, no? My mother always calls, my father's name is Hari. So for last 50 plus years, she's been calling Hari, 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 morning, night, Hari, Hari, Hari. I'm like, till I came to Krishna consciousness, I didn't really know the importance. And then I was like, Mom, do you even know how much? Sukruti, you've gotten, unknowingly you've been chanting the importance of the name of Hari. I says, yeah, he's my Hari. And she keeps calling Hari, 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 Hari. I said, why didn't you name me something like Narada, no, something, Narayana or something like that? I would have also heard. But she, this importance. So he keeps calling his son Narayana, Narayana. Nothing happened. The intensity with which we call the Lord is important. The purity, the force with which we call. This morning we were all chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. And this is a mind. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Running all over the place. Audibly we are chanting, but it's not the same chanting that if you open your eyes and suddenly you see a grizzly bear in this room. There's forests around and there's a bear that walks in. And then what will happen? Hare Krishna! That intensity is different. But always does Krishna come out? You're walking on a street, barefoot, you're walking outside, and you hear something pierces your leg. What comes out? Krishna or, oh, sometimes people even curse. What comes out at that time is important. And what came out for Srinathji at that time was, let me take my beads and start chanting. What came out for Ajamil at that time? Let me call my son. Son, please come, help me. Son, help me. So the Vishnu Dutas told Vishnu, my lord, sir, he's not calling you. Because Vishnu heard this noise and he says, Vishnu Dutas, go to Bhuloka and save this Ajamil. And he says, and Vishnu Dutas are very sharp. So they said, no, not calling you. He's calling his son. Has it ever happened to you? You're in a crowd, you're talking to somebody, and somebody calls out your name, and suddenly you look at that person, isn't it? And I said, yes, you called me. It happened to me many times. I'm talking with a devotee, and somebody in the crowd said, Rahul, that's my birth name. And everybody knows me, Ramachandra, the Ramachandra Prabhu, Ramachandra. And I'm talking to all the devotees, and somebody in the crowd says, Rahul. And I'm still like, yes? Oh, no, I'm not calling you. I'm calling my son Rahul. Oh, I see. But my name is also Rahul. So Lord Vishnu was sure, but go check. It is my name. Please go. That's how merciful the Lord is. बुलाया था उसके बच्चे को, called his son. But the Lord is, no, you go please, because he's calling me. So end of the day, we have to depend on the Lord's mercy. We have to depend, no matter how much we chant. The Lord may even desire not to come because, we are chanting, but it's not pure. Our heart is not in Krishna still. We still have so many desires in our heart. Krishna may not desire to come. But like Ajamil, he has so many other desires. He's not practicing Krishna consciousness. But at the time he calls his son Narayan, and the Lord decides, Vishnu Tutas, you go. So isn't it purely the Lord's mercy? On our own strength, can we really get Krishna? We cannot. We need the mercy of Guru. We need the mercy of the devotees. And how to get the mercy of the devotees is by doing devotional service. When you serve someone, then you attract their attention. Oh, this person is so nicely serving. This person is so nice. Even chanting is service to Krishna. That the person is extra merciful. And those blessings, when we start accumulating blessings, we all accumulate wealth. We all accumulate knowledge. We all accumulate assets. But are we accumulating blessings? Very important. Blessings of devotees are very important. And times like this, those blessings can be withdrawn from our bank and can be used to save us. Most of the time, we bank a lot of bad wishes from others sometimes because of our actions, before our acts and things like that. But we have to seek their blessings. When the Lord is, for example, Mangalarti is happening, what is pleasing to the Lord? We must ask ourselves, not what is pleasing to me. This morning only I was thinking, Radha Damodar, I'm seeing you after so long. What is pleasing to you? What is pleasing to Srila Prabhupada? And the answer from within came, what is pleasing is to see you dance in front of me, to see you dance at the holy names. So we danced. So I danced. In the middle, you saw I came back and I said, let's hold hands and dance. Because at that point, that came in my heart, but I should dance. It's very pleasing to the Lord. So we dance. So we have to always, as devotees, we have to not think what is good for me. What is, मुझे कैसे feel हो रहा है? How do I feel? Krishna consciousness means sacrifice, unfortunately. Ragadana padega. It is not as simple. So we have to all the time think what is pleasing to these devotees, and then we accumulate that. So Ajamil had practiced Krishna consciousness many, many, many years ago, and it's all coming back to him. And our Lord is so merciful. Now imagine we all have been chanting for so many years. We don't think that the Lord will save us, protect us at the time of death. He will. He's such a forgiving, he's such a loving Father that he will always, always. We must have that confidence. We must have that faith. When our faith is broken, when we feel whether he's really there, whether he's really watching me, you know, everything is like just going downhill for me. We have to have that faith that no, even chanting one name of the Lord is just waiting. He's waiting to talk to us. He wants to tell us, but unfortunately, we are not speaking to him. We're not talking to him. One of our acharyas, His Holiness Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj, used to say that devotees should learn the art of crying. If we are not crying for Krishna, if tears are not coming out, Gadgada Ruddhaya Gira Pulakair Vichitam Gada Tava Nam Grahane Bhavishyati. So my Mahaprabhu says tears are coming out of my eyes. My heart is pumping hard. Like that, we also have to feel the art of living is there, and Krishna consciousness teaches us not only the art of living, but the art of dying. Everything that we have learned will be tested at the time of death. And we have committed many, many aparas. It will come to us. But as simple as chanting the holy name can deliver us. So that is something we should give the most importance to. Like all of us were chanting this morning together. Similarly, every morning we should make it a rule that I'll chant at least X number of rounds in the morning. And how? In the association of devotees. Many times I also feel I want to just chant by myself, go for a walk and chant. But that chanting should not stop, however we want to chant. But if it's done with the devotees, then it's even better. Ajamil's story is to show us, Lord Vishnu, that mercy was given to Ajamil, not just for Ajamil, but to show us that listen, if you remember me, antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram. If you remember me at the time of death, you'll guaranteed come to me. Why do we have these retreat today? This retreat is not here to just see the beauty of this farm community. That is also there, and we should see. And in seeing that also, we should remember Krishna. That look at Krishna's cows, look at Krishna's peacocks, look at Krishna's trees, look at Krishna's everything. There's one person who owned a grocery store, and he was, when you go to buy in his store, and you say, I need rice, then he would say, how much rice ram do you need? Then he would say, how much dal ram do you need? How much rajma ram do you need? This person like, भैया आप चावल राम क्यों बोल रहे हो? Why are you saying rice ram, dal ram, rajma ram? He said, listen, for last 30 years, I've been doing this only. My father's business, I took over my grandparents. Every day we are selling. Hey, rice, rice, rice. Hey, give him this much rice, give him this much rice, give him this much rajma, 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 rice, rice, dal, dal, dal. I said, Early on, only I realized what a waste. What am I getting by chanting? I'm chanting hundreds and thousands of times daily, rice, rice, rice. So I was told by my guru, why don't you add the word Ram to it? It will have some meaning. So that's why now when I sell, I say rice Ram, dal Ram, sabji Ram, tel Ram, added value to it. So similarly, when we are also doing certain activities, we are here at a retreat center. If we add Krishna, if we add Ram to it, then it becomes spiritualized. Otherwise, outside world is just showing us you go to tourist places, attraction places, and just click pictures and not even to the level of just see the beauty of the Lord. That is also okay. You go to many places, that's fine. You go to a cruise and you see the vast ocean, and then you remember that, oh, the Lord is sleeping on a causal ocean like this on Ananta Shesha. That reminds you of Krishna, which is also okay. But otherwise, we end up just doing something which really has no value. But everything that Krishna has given us, we can utilize in remembering Him. So this chanting can save us from the biggest of the calamities. Anybody has any questions? Yes, Mataji. What is the right way of leaving your body and remembering the Lord? How do you remember the Lord? Is that what you're saying? How do we? So once we see the Lord, we smile happily. How do we go happily? I mean, as soon as you see the Lord, it's blissful, anyways. Dhruva Maharaj was meditating to get this big, his own planet, his own kingdom bigger than his father. That was his desire. But as soon as he saw the Lord, all his desires disappeared and he was full of bliss. So, in order to be able to be received by Vishnu Dutas, uh, again, we have to practice. We have to practice. If we want to smile at the time of leaving the body, we have to smile now. If we are always unhappy, if we are always grumpy now, we will be grumpy and unhappy at the time of death also. So think about it like that, that anything we want to do at the time of leaving this body, we must do it now. If you want to remember the Lord's name, we must do it now. If you want to smile at the Vishnu Dutas and everybody, we must do it now with all the devotees. It will not happen that the Vishnu Dutas came, we smiled. And when we look back and say, I'm going back, oh, Haribol, everybody, I'm going back. It will not happen. When the heart has become so pure that there is no kama, krodha, lobha, moha, madha, matsarya within, then only we will develop the taste of chanting the holy names. So understand, the chanting of the holy names is not going to result into just giving these things. They are both in parallel. We have to give up these things. घर को क्लीन करेंगे तभी कोई गेस्ट आके बैठेगा ना. If you clean the house nicely and keep the nice aromatic home, then somebody will come, then they will stay. Coming is fine, but then they'll come and stay over because they like you as a host. So even our heart, in this body, the Lord resides. So even in our hearts, if we want the holy names to stay in our mind and heart, we have to cleanse our heart. We have to purify our heart. And what is a purified heart? Who's equal to all. Samadarshinaha, Panditaha Samadarshina. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavihastini, Sunishaiva Sopakecha, Panditaha Samadarshina. So we have to look everyone like that. We have to develop that. There is no time left. Many times I see devotees just focusing on chanting or offering, but their natures are not changing. Their inside is not changing. No matter how nicely we keep the car from outside, or the house from outside, or our body from outside, what really matters is what is inside. Your car can be spick and span outside, inside, but if the engine oil has not been changed, if the maintenance has not been done, it's going to crash soon. It's not going to go long distance. So make it a habit to daily make yourself a better person. Forget what others are thinking about you. Forget about what others are telling you. I was just listening to one saint, him saying that if people are not talking to you, if people are criticizing you, if people are looking down to you, everything negative is happening against you, and you've taken the shelter of the Lord, and you have a full, firm faith in Krishna, then know that that is the mercy of the Lord on you. And this is your last stage before you go back home, back to Godhead, because He's taken away everything from you. Now, how easy is that to believe? It's not. If Krishna is with us, He's testing us. Prabhupada, same thing happened. His spiritual, his God brothers are not responding, not helping him. There is nobody to talk to him. People are criticizing him. They're saying, "Why have you come? You should go back." Every step they're criticizing. We at least have a center, a small rental place. Prabhupada did not even have that with him. So he's facing all negatives, but he had firm faith in his spiritual master. He had firm faith in Krishna. So he was not afraid. He kept going. So these things that we are studying, Bhagavatam and all. Another thing also I want to say is that when we are chanting, your chanting will be powerful if you're also reading. If you're not reading scriptures, if you're not reading Prabhupada's books, it will have rippling effect on your chanting also. Hearing, Shravanam, is very important. Reading is also Shravanam. When you hear from the mouths of the sadhus, when you hear these talks, it just energizes you. It just puts your life in right perspective. We are going through so many challenges, and suddenly you hear the words of the acharyas from sadhus. It gives you strength. Oh no, I'm just, why was I so down? And I was creating my own thoughts, and I'm just dwelling on that. I'm just sitting there. By hearing them, by hearing scriptures, it brings light to darkness. And then we chant also powerfully. So just chanting itself will not help. Also read. So I answered your question, I hope, but I went beyond that as well. Any other question? Yes. Anybody else? So these moments when we come, we are chanting, we are doing kirtan, etc., and we feel blissful. Those are the times to make certain commitments. That I feel so blissful. Going back, I want to do this in my life. I want to change. I want to tweak a little bit of my nature. I want to tweak a little bit of my sadhana. I want to refine it. I want to make it better because you're blissful. You're very in a good mood. In good mood, you should make good decisions. When you're in bad mood, don't make decisions at all. Like I was thinking this morning, I was feeling so blissful with all of us here, and I was thinking that next year we should come with uh, a bigger group of devotees, have another senior devotee with us who could have a seminar on a topic. And all these things are coming. Topic like um, Festival of Devotion, where Nectar of Devotion book can be studied. Morning, you have so many sessions. I was even thinking who all can come, who can we invite? I won't share that yet, but I was even thinking this person can come, this, and then suddenly from nowhere, all people will start coming, and we will end up having 150 people. But the seed was sown this year when you're standing and dancing and singing. The seed was sown now. So your seed also you can sow now when you're feeling joyful. That घर जाके मैं ये करूंगा या वो करूंगी. आज से मैं 16 माला करूंगी. आज से मैं भोगा. I'll only eat bhoga. From tomorrow I'll stop eating in restaurants that serve meat. It's a big step we should take. This was one thing that we did many years ago. I will not eat in a restaurant where there is meat because I'm promoting them. I'm telling them, here, take my vegetarian money and use it to buy more meat and cut them. I don't want to give them money. I don't want to give them money because in that same place, maybe a separate kitchen, I don't care, but the same place they're doing this. Why should I give my money to them? I would give my money to that person who believes, even if you can't stop restaurant, go to a vegan place, go to a pure vegetarian place, and avoid your children also. If our children eat from childhood, if they're eating places, where eggs and this and that, it will have effect on their brain. It'll have an effect on their everything. Then we wonder how come our child is not chanting, is not doing this, not because you've been feeding them food that is cooked in not a very nice sattvic atmosphere. So that is the basic. Start from there and slowly, slowly adjust, make good moves. And then you'll see how there's sudden change in our consciousness, our children's consciousness, everybody's. Anybody else? Last question. 8 o'clock is Guru Puja. Okay, so thank you very much. We have another full day left. Let's enjoy. Let's be together, get to know each other better, and go back and share experiences with others. Tell them how much you all liked it. So next year we can promote it in a bigger way. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hari Bol. I think tomorrow's class will be given by Ram Tulsi Prabhu. So, Hari Bol. Nimai Karuna Prabhu is there? Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Jai Radha Krishna Shri Govinda Gopinath